This is a limited series powered by the Work Defined Podcast Network. What is going on? This is Ryan Leary from Work Defined. Have you ever wondered what really goes down behind the cubicles? This is Workplace Misconduct, the limited series based on Fama's 9 to 5 Nightmares podcast where workplace misconduct gets unpacked. Raw stories, real consequences, and frankly, lessons we all need to hear. This series is brought to you by Fama, helping companies screen for misconduct before it's a headline. Check them out at fama.io.
This is William Tincup and Ryan Leary. We're at Fama's booth at HR Tech, and we are actually trying to unearth stories about employees or candidates behaving badly, poorly, silly, whatever the bit is. And so we're going to explore this with the two of you. Let's do introductions first.
I'm Sagar. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Multiplier. Pleasure to be here. Thank you for having me, guys.
Absolutely.
I'm Valerie. I'm head of content at Multiplier.
Now, what does Multiplier do?
So Multiplier is a global human platform where we help companies employ talent globally without having to set up their legal entity. And we take care of payroll, benefit, taxes, and so on and so forth, also called as employment of record solution.
Yeah. Do you help them on the recruiting side, on the front?
Not today.
Right.
What we do is we help connect them with recruiters.
Right.
But we only come into picture once you have the candidate. You just don't need a legal entity.
Right. Okay.
You serve as that entity.
Absolutely.
Right. And then around the world, which just years ago would have been setting up a company or an LLC or an entity in Jamaica, in whatever the place is, and then or having someone local do that. I remember global payroll probably 15 years ago. People would ask me a lot about global payroll. There's like 4 companies that did it. And in those 4 companies, they did it differently. So there was like no shared model of like how it got done. And so y'all are a part of a wave of people that are making that so much easier. Let's get to the content at hand. We're going to start with you. Candidates behaving badly, poorly.
Co-workers,
bosses, leaders.
You can tell stories about this guy. You can leave them nameless and say, hypothetically.
I have a story that's occurred to me. It's very I don't know if it's appropriate for the
It's
podcast.
appropriate.
Bring it.
It's appropriate.
I want to issue a warning.
No,
you know?
no, we're good.
Did you hear his example?
Yeah.
You're totally good.
You're in safe company.
Okay. Oh God.
Don't worry.
What if somebody? All right. Okay.
Our moms are the only ones that listen.
That's right.
You're good.
That's definitely not who I want to tell this story to. I once had an employee at a fully remote company, and they were a great employee, really enjoyed working with them, and I didn't know them very well, because in a fully remote company, you often don't meet face-to-face for a while, but when we did finally meet, kind of the first conversation that we had was about their, how can I say, I'm so sorry, Sagar.
No. He's excited now. He wants to go big. Yeah.
About this intense, sort of his sexual fetish. He had like a very active,
very specific.
I know, it was very specific. I shan't dive into it here.
No. He was in the feet. We get it. No worries. No big deal.
Would that it were feet.
Wow.
It was not feet.
Now my mind's racing. Okay. Got it.
I was trying to be like cool, you know what I mean? Like, I'm cool, boss. Tell me about your life. And they're like, oh, like me and my partner. And I was like, whoa.
Yeah. That's when the conversation started to slowly go.
It got dark.
And some of it's grooming. They're just trying to see where you're at on the spectrum to figure out like.
What's my boundaries?
Yeah.
Well, and I was like, oh, that's cool. Like, I don't know, because I think also when someone is so casual about it, you want to be casual too, and you're like, oh, wow, that's great. Like, great. What website? Like,
of course.
And
where do you go on the dark web to learn more about that?
And I mean, nothing. They continue to be a great employee, and I continue to know too much about their sex life. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Wow.
I know.
That is a great story.
What could I have done better? I don't know.
Well, let's get back to it. Let's get a
Come
story
back to
first.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Saga, you're up.
What's your go-tos?
Yeah, I think I have a couple of anecdotes that come to mind, but maybe I'm going to choose this one. Yeah, so I started my career in investment banking in a Japanese bank, and of course I didn't speak any Japanese, but I was surrounded by Japanese-speaking colleagues. So I had this female colleague who was Japanese but was born and brought up abroad. So studied in Oxford and so on and so forth. So very, very smart girl.
Right.
But if you know anything about Japanese culture, it's a very, chauvinistic society. Really favor men over females. So we were doing a project in Vietnam. We were acquiring this oil and gas business in Vietnam. And I was working with my boss and this female colleague of mine. And we'll do Monday to Friday. Every Monday we'll fly to Vietnam from Tokyo and go back every Friday night. And she will never join the business trip. So one day I went to the boss and I said, hey, why can't we get whatever her name was, why can't we get her to the business trip as well? And I was dropped from the next business trip. Can you believe that?
Wow.
It was he told me, no, we don't need her. We have enough people. I pushed back saying, no, she is important for this meeting. Let's take her to that meeting. And he dropped me from that next meeting.
Did he drop you in exchange for her or just said, you know what?
No, she just dropped for pushing for...
You didn't understand. You were advocating.
Yeah. And then I'm not very proud of what I did next. And I said, I was wrong and maybe we don't need her. And then I continued to go on the business trip after that. But that's one of the worst things that I've seen.
100%.
You were penalized for justice. Yeah.
Without words. Mm-hmm. It was very subtle.
Yeah.
It was very subtle.
Yeah.
Just like, you know what? No, we got it. You're good.
Yeah.
You brought up something that's taboo, and we won't tell you that. You just won't be with us on the next trip.
Exactly.
All right, let's move to what we would have done differently. So, in your case, now knowing what you know,
Baseball bat to the head.
yeah, what would you have done the first time you met? And again, great employee.
Yeah.
So, what would you have done differently?
I think at that time I was like an earlier stage in my career, and I was more interested in being liked by my employees, really feeling like they wanted to hang out with me, like I'm a cool boss. I think now, later in my career, I'm more comfortable drawing boundaries and maybe not being a cool boss, but if you respect me professionally, right, that's kind of enough. I don't need you to like me necessarily, but we've got to have some kind of understanding. So I think, I don't know though. What do you say? Like someone's like, I've got a fetish, and you're like, no, thank you.
You know what?
Curiosity.
You know what? We all have stuff like that, but let's keep it on the work.
Right.
Yeah.
I wish I said that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd be like, oh, that's so interesting, but like, I'm not comfortable talking about this. Like, how about we talk about content?
Well,
Let's talk about that next blog post.
Yeah.
HR has this particular issue, that separation of church and state. They know the darkest, deepest, craziest things about employees, and yet they want to be liked as well, but they can't. They have to actually keep that border up, and if they drop that, then all kinds of hell breaks loose.
That is so wise, because it's true. HR gets, like, they take on the burden. They take on this enormous emotional burden, because people come in at HR and telling them their fetish is for real.
That's legit. Yeah. Well, they know pay equity issues. They know the sexual harassment claims. They know all of the the darkest of dark things. So that they can't be friends or best friends with the employees. They have to put a wall up because of that.
Yeah.
Which it kills them, because they want to be liked. They want to be liked.
Yeah, treat them like your kids. That's how I look at things. Treat them like your kids. You want to be liked, but you're a parent.
Yeah.
You're not there to be their best friend. HR's got to be the same way.
I've literally said that to my sons before. I'm not your friend.
I just started breaking that out.
I'm your father.
It does not make me look cool.
If we become friends later in life, cool. If we don't, great.
Yeah, like I'm here to do my job.
Yeah, I got a job.
Yeah.
I need to make sure you're safe, you're raised properly.
Yeah, no, I could care less if you like me. In fact,
yeah.
gotta hope that you don't.
Okay, I just want to complicate it a little, which is like...
Oh! Yes! Yes!
Complicate.
But wait, there's more.
Which is you do... so much of working in HR is about working with, obviously, working with people. Like there is a certain amount of being liked or being able to collaborate or work with people and really feel like you need people to want to talk to you, to be able to confide in you, right? And so it's like easy to say, it's not important to be liked, but not being liked doesn't make it harder to do your job.
No, not at all.
You don't think so?
No.
Really?
Yeah, because I can separate the two.
Yeah.
But then again, I've always had that personality.
Yeah.
More of a kind of I'd say social, pathological thing where I can disconnect.
Yeah.
Like again, if you like me, cool. If you don't, okay, doesn't change anything.
Yeah.
I think in the earlier parts of my career, I really cared about being liked.
Yes.
But after being a CEO for a couple of years, and 3 years rather, I think with some coaching, I've also developed what William is talking about, like really not caring about whether you get liked or not, and delivering what you actually feel without that fear.
Right. Well, making sure that you communicate the logic, I think, helps us. Where it's like, okay, we're doing this, and yes, some of you are not going to like it. Here's why. And letting them understand the logic. And if they still don't like it, that's on them. That they don't
can find
like
a new job.
Yeah.
I think William should be a career coach. I can use it for a lot of my executives.
Yeah. I can see that. What would you do
I
different?
will set you up with him. He'll coach you for the next 6 months. See how that
Let's
works
do
out.
that.
He's too smart. I can't do it. What would you have done differently?
So, I think before I talk about that, remember I was 21 years old, so still the factor that was of the top of my mind was making money and being successful and growing fast.
Right.
If I could go back in time and change that, I would have loved to either argue out with the boss and say, hey, like this is just not fair. The person that you're leaving out for this trip is very smart. She's adding value to the trip, and we actually should give her the opportunity to grow. And if they would not listen, I would have loved to go and talk to their boss and share this. I just did not have the courage to do that at one point in time, and I feared my career would suffer. And again, as I said, you're just starting up, and you barely got that job, and you don't want to be out of the job, and but today I feel like being relatively more on the successful side of corporate side, I feel I have the courage to go and change that, but I still don't know if I'm 21 and I'm in that position, what will I do?
That's right.
Maybe Valerie, what do you think? What would you end up doing in that position?
I think the fact that you're being an advocate of someone at 21 shows a lot. Like I wasn't an advocate for anything at 21, so the fact that you're actually thinking about others and thinking about a woman colleague in that situation, you were light years ahead of people. Just the fact that you were thinking about it and that you would advocate for it. Now we think of it as normal, but back then it wasn't normal.
Yeah.
People didn't go to bat for other folks. So the fact that I think you were advocating, the fact that they didn't take your advice, there's not much you could do about that. I don't think you can change people like that. If they're set in that, and they're grounded that way, you're not going to change them. You just need to change.
That makes me feel good.
You didn't do it. No,
Maybe you
seriously.
can be his coach.
No, you didn't do it. I mean, seriously, at 21, I was not thinking about
21's
advocating.
very different than that.
Yeah.
No,
Well,
I feel like even when I was 21, I didn't even recognize like systemic injustice like that. Like I think,
100%.
and I feel like maybe
I know I didn't.
Right, and I think it's funny as a woman, I can like reflect now in moments where I was like, wow, that was pretty messed up. But at the time, I was like, this is what life is. Like,
This is normal.
Yeah,
normal.
yeah, totally.
This is just normal. This is this is what happens. All right. Last question. What do y'all want to get? What are you trying to get out of HR Tech? What's the bit?
I think as Multiplier, we always stood for the best product and service in the market, and we've just done rebrand last month.
Aye.
And please drop by our booth and see the beautiful orange color that it represents. And thanks to Valerie for all the work that she has done. It's for us, I think, just getting the word out there that don't suffer subpar solutions that are there in the market. Come get to know about Multiplier and use our product. It's almost like we were doing disservice to the world by not telling them what a great product that we've built.
Right.
So that's what we stand for here.
You have a moral obligation.
I like that word. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So you have a moral obligation to bring this to market.
Absolutely.
Because it's just a better way to enable great talent that's in Indonesia or wherever, some little nook and cranny in the world. Not all the talent is in the four walls of the United States. It was never that way.
Never will be that
It
way.
will never be that way. And the fact that y'all enable people from all over the world to be able to get their best self out there, I think is great. I mean, first of all, again, I think it is a moral imperative.
I'm going to borrow that word.
100%.
Moral obligation.
You have a moral. If we don't tell people, we've failed.
Absolutely.
I believe that to be true.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank y'all so much for coming on the show. We appreciate you. Know how busy you are.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you.